Hi, my name is Kate, and welcome to my channel, Synergy Awakens Naturally. Well, I've had another opportunity to send out a shout of praise to humanity, divinity, and the Trinity of that whenever people are just being their beautiful selves. And I'm able to get a look at that and actually benefit from that. It's just really beautiful. My life has been fairly isolated for the last couple of years, going through divorce, blah, blah, and it's been very isolated. I've lived a very hermit lifestyle, just kind of drawn down into myself and very introspective, and huge life changes with a divorce and grown children, and what the heck, and what do I do? And I was really struggling this afternoon, and feeling the grief of needing to walk away from a home that I walked into with every intention of being here for the rest of my life, and it didn't work out that way. And so there was sadness, there was grief, and a lot of the hurt and the rejection, the abandonment. Every issue of all those Carl Jung's things and archetypes just flaring up in my face. And how do I deal with this without losing my mind, without screaming and, just ripping the place apart, without wanting to, attack someone? I don't have anyone I could do that to in my physical space. And even if I did, it's not really, my style. And, I don't want to harm anyone else. I don't want to harm myself. I just want to be able to get rid of the anger and the hurt. And anger comes as a result of the hurt. And so let's get right to that. The core of it is that, what's hurting and how can I handle that? And I realize as I'm just in this pool of, grief and sadness, that there's not any way to handle that. I'm going to have to just keep motoring through it. And every time I think, okay, it couldn't possibly be any, dicier or more emotional than the last time, this will be the worst it's ever going to be. And it's not that it's worse and worse or better and better. It's that each stage of that grief is what it is, and it deserves its moment to just be heard and to grieve what is being lost, regardless of whether it makes sense, regardless of whether or not I can tie a direct correlation to a memory or to a person. It's just the overall, it needs to be let go, released and let go. And as I continue to make my way faster and faster to that end goal of, I'm onto a whole new lifestyle, it does in fact mean that collapse those timelines and clear them out. I release and let go, I surrender, bye, I gotta go. And it sounds very easy sometimes, and yet there is always an emotional component. When there's an emotional component, there's not always an emotional component carte blanche. However, when there is one, there's always going to be one. And I have really worked to say, look, let's keep the emotion out of those parts of me and my cabinetry that doesn't need to open every single drawer, because I don't need to go and revisit certain places. If it's really healed and it's just a matter of falling back into a frequency out of, blind, not paying attention or not really, noticing, that's one thing. If it's needing to really be healed and dealt with, I'm not going to be able to sidestep that, and I know that. However, that's not a fine line. That's very well understood now in me that, this is a frequency issue. Get up out of the toilet on that one. However, when it shows up 333 as, sheer grief, just heartbroken, etc., that's somebody in me that really needs to have a minute to grieve and express the loss. And I was alone. I am alone. I live by myself, and I only until recently did not have friends, did not have anybody to talk to, and still don't have people that I would call in that state, because I'm not sure that I would call anybody while I was in that state right now, because of the newness of the friendship. And I'm just not sure. That's not anything that I really need to work out at the moment. However, in the last week or two, I've met the most phenomenal women, two different women that they came within about 36 hours of one another. And it was the most beautiful thing, because I was starting to wonder, is there anybody on this planet that I'm ever going to connect with, that I ever feel safe talking to, that, is not just like me, however, is a little more, closer to the soul tribe vibe that I'm after. And, where do I fit in? Because clearly it's not here. Legally dictated is so that, you're definitely not here. So where do I belong? And my plan to go forward it's a secret right at the moment. I'm hatching it in my cauldron as we speak. However, how do I fit in, and how do I deal with being alone and moving on with my life in a brand new way as an independent woman who's leaving everything of her, former life behind, with the exception of some memorabilia and, odds and ends of hygiene items and a collection of fur balls, 3 cats and 2 dogs. And even that, was just really creeping me hard that I still may need to relinquish the dogs, because that's just the reality of, I may not be able to do the plan that I'm thinking of, may not be able to include them, just simply because how many places can I move into that I go, yeah, I've brought Noah's Ark with me. Where do I pull my boat up, and where do I pull up in the harbor and let all my critters in? That's not generally well received. And so I was struggling with that. And well, I don't really want to live here anymore in this state. I live in Florida, and I really don't, care to live here anymore. It's not what I really want to be doing, and I really would rather travel. And so how can I work that out? And so I was really feeling, and I had gone today in my mind to, all right, am I just sitting around avoiding stuff? Am I scared of something? And of course it brought on the avalanche of, well, the new intentions, Aries new moon, that what did you mean? Well, I got clear about what I meant and what I wanted to be doing, my intentions going forward. And, not everything's going to fall into plan the way that I say so, because I listen to divinity tell me that I'm here to do God's work. I'm here to do divinity's work. Whatever your understanding is, I narrow it down and just call it divinity's work, the plan for me, which, that's sweet, that's one of my friends, that, I'm very dedicated to that. And sometimes it can be a very solo journey until I get an email or a text message from a friend, and within 36 hours, of each other, I've met 2 beautiful women who I hope, that we're going to be able to stay in touch and really continue to cultivate that relationship, because they're very genuine, good-hearted people. So despite the fact that, I'm here and thinking I'm here alone, and I'm kind of, I've got this whole brand new way of life, and I'm leaving everything behind, and yet even if I drive away tomorrow and cross over the Florida's border and never return to Florida itself, the internet allows me to be able to FaceTime and text and do all kinds of beautiful things to connect with beautiful people. And I don't have to be in their space necessarily, or them in mine. We can still keep that heart connection going, because that's where we connected. And these women, within 36 hours, and I had been crying and dying and going, oh my God, am I going to be able to trust anyone ever again? I mean, really seriously, like my soul tribe, my soulmate, my twin flame, what? Do I have anybody that I can even, trust with doing a very basic task? And these women both have powered up, and yeah, you can trust me to do that and that and that. And that is almost crazy as to, wow, I don't want you to feel used. Oh no, I want to do that. I really want to help you. I'm like, holy cow, really? Because that's really been a struggle. And so I've always been the one to kind of overgive or to offer help and not really have that return back, and then be hurt, angry, upset, etc. Just not understanding the boundaries of give and take. And overgiving is a waste of resource just as much as undergiving is a withholding of resource. It's an imbalanced equation. So it's not goody two shoes gets points. The imbalanced equation is going to net you an imbalanced return on that investment. So it's not that. It's that meeting people at a higher frequency and a higher vibration and a higher way of life and a higher understanding of how to give and receive. That's just really a beautiful thing, because I can give quite naturally and am learning to now receive quite naturally from women that, that's just a really cool thing, because they both have children, they both understand the mom thing, and they're both younger than me technically. However, they're ancient souls, in my opinion, that they're mature and they're wise, and they have very sage presence about them, and they offer comfort just in being who they are. And so I'm celebrating them and, sending them a shining star and saying, please accept my shine, and being able to inspire another person and motivate them without even knowing that, the friend that just now had texted me a little while ago, she had no way of knowing. She had absolutely no way of knowing. And neither did my other friend whenever I ended up connecting with her today. We had no idea that, that was going to happen. It was random with an Instacart thing that she ended up being the person delivering my groceries. And she's like, yeah, I knew when I put my pink tennis shoes on today, I was going to see Kate. Like, that's so funny, that, yep, you sure did. And then in the throes of, in between sessions of crying and really feeling, the opportunity to go, yeah, you want to drag down into that frequency over there that feels terrible? Well, no. How about we go over here and grieve then, and skip the recrimination part about what a dirtbag I am and just get to the part of, yeah, it's just really sad. I have to say goodbye. And I don't want to say goodbye to some of those things. However, I don't run other people's programs or their agendas or their lives, and I don't make their decisions for them. And so I have to allow people to just have already made their decisions and continue to make them however they make them. Whether I agree or not is irrelevant. I have to deal with my own emotion on that and my own emotional response and the grief that would come with having to say, okay, and release it and let it go. However, these women, at different times for different reasons, just in one day today alone, in the last 6 hours, they've just chimed in, oh, hey, how you doing? And really made the difference in my night and day with, that's so kind. And it's just beautiful to me that divinity, I'm crying out and going, I feel alone. I feel like, I'm losing my mind, and, I'm just full of it and telling myself big giant stories. I need to not be doing this. I've got to have something just ease up and give me a break for a minute, because I'm pretty sure that if I don't believe in anything any longer, do I? And I mean, I was really just struggling, face was in it, and doop, there comes the message, that, oh yeah, by the way, that's going to happen tomorrow. And it's something very helpful, completely unrelated. She had no reason to know. I didn't call and say, yeah, I'm over here crying and grieving. Could you in 10 minutes call me and save the day? And I felt so inspired by that. And I wanted to return the favor and just say, yeah, please accept my shine. You know who you are. And both of you. And I really, really appreciate that. And I'm so grateful to the fact that empowered women know how to empower other women. And I was a disempowered lump here today a few times, and it has really made all the difference in the world to meet their divine and have it come to me and say, you're fine. And we cannot recognize in anyone else what we don't already have within ourselves. So it was a good and fresh reminder for me that, yeah, okay, I can be a strong and giving person again. And, I can be inspiring again. And I can do a lot of stuff after I get done needing a friend. And without that, clinging, needing a friend that they had no way of knowing. And I didn't put in the call to say, I need you, just out of my own, that's my own stuff. I don't trust anybody. I'm not going to, and so it's really nice. I wouldn't breach those boundaries and start making phone calls if, I really need you to talk me through this. I wouldn't abuse that because, I've gotten used to being able to comfort myself and be able to get myself through those, kind of anxiety attacks and those panic moments and those moments of grief. However, it's beautiful to know that as these friendships continue to develop and grow, that it wouldn't be, completely bizarre, weird, or unheard of for me to be able to express myself in my own divinity, whether I was laughing or crying, whether I was having a moment of anger, whether I was, giggling hysterically, that these women already accept me for me. And that's a really beautiful gift that I strive to be able to return that favor, because I do know what that is now even more. And it's a really great gift to give other people and to, receive as well. And it can be very difficult and hard on the soul and so harsh whenever we're 14, when we're, imbalanced in that. And it causes a lot of grief and frustration. And so thank you to very, very unique women, both Unicorn Magic and Mermamas, just good people and good heart, good soul. And thank you so much that you brought that to my awareness in such a beautiful way. So I hope you're finding your mermen and your mermaids and your unicorn people and enjoying them. And when you do find them, please make sure that you acknowledge them and that they are appreciating the mermagic in you, or however you're showing up with your divinity. Enjoy whatever part of the day you're in. Take care of yourself and be in your own skin, and know that your divine is absolutely fine. Take care, friends. See you next time. Bye-bye.